Hello, my name is Natalie, and this is my presentation for Assignment 2A, Project Planning Proposal for Printed Publication. My chosen topic is design activism. So, I guess I'll start with, what is design activism? To summarize, design activism is a thoughtful design that brings about political and social change, as opposed to design for any other purpose, such as self-improvement or necessity. Design activists strike home within the community. They aim to make a difference. The proposed manuscript encompasses introduction to the publication and begins with a short summary of design activism, as well as a general overview of the publication's purpose. The first featured article is Co-Shaping the Future in Quadruple Helix Innovation Systems, Uncovering Public Preferences Towards Participating Research and Innovation, which is a really interesting article which speaks about the reasons designers design with intent, and it displays through research the difference it can have on the community and continues to detail how it is received by the community. The second part of the publication encompasses the 3 architectural projects. These projects are really innovative, unique, and individual, and have had a significant positive impact on their respective communities. These were articles found on Arc Daily. The publication seeks to inform the audience of how design activists work with intent and are working to create a better future for all of society. The main function of the publication is to celebrate the coming together of design and innovation, culture and unity in the greater community, both local and international, and the differences that design activists have and continue to make. We'll achieve this through featuring projects where designers acknowledge their sense of responsibility and are driven by it to then have brought it to life through architectural projects in Africa. Our target audience are the curious thinkers, intellectuals of all ages, researchers, teachers, students alike, people who are currently in the industry or are retired. There's no discrimination here. Anybody who has an intellectual interest in design, particularly in architecture and struggling nations, this is our audience, and we want to reach as many of them as we can through celebrating the endeavors and successes of these design activists. The proposed table of contents is a relatively uniform structure with 3 major headings and 4 subcategories which come under these headings. We aim to streamline the information and maintain consistency while allowing the reader to source the info thereafter with ease. This is the storyboard to prepare that arrangement. As well as researching online, I took the time to pick apart the publications that I have in my house I'm currently staying in, to pull ideas from them, to see what works, and to create a theme with consistency, maintain a grid system in a way that enables it to be flexible whilst also being interesting for the entire document. Some elements that I found that were really inspiring included the strict use of colour and how it can be used as an accent in many cases. Then it's the minor details that really make the difference. So it could be in an ordinary document and you could add minor unique details and take the whole publication to another level. It'll make it go above and beyond. I also began to investigate the use of columns and rows to maintain a presentation that was interesting but allowed the reader to follow along. This is one direction I've been considering, where the type becomes the graphic with minimal illustration. It's a focus on continuity and design through arrangement of text and intelligent use of grid systems, as well as to creative placement and hierarchy. I thought this would be particularly interesting in a concept in which design activism results speak for themselves. This direction focuses on layering across the publication. Text boxes and images have been layered with the use of digital rendering. The layer concept will really come to life. The structure is to remain rigid throughout in order to maintain consistency, but without lacking interest. The paper pays homage to the designers traditionally leading with pen and paper. This direction is possibly the most exciting to me, and it leads with the idea that hope leaks through the standard rules of design, through design activists, and they design differently to other designers. In particular, how to drive social and political change and advocate for that difference. This direction displays that sense of hope or responsibility shining through or leaking through in an otherwise stock standard design culture. These concepts stemming from those visual directions include the holographic light leak that centers around the hope leaking through in empty spaces. It represents a change that can be brought about through thoughtful and meaningful design and architecture. We use bright colours to symbolise hope and positivity, and the white space signifies the unthoughtful design or lack of care in the nicest way possible that designers who do not work in the same format present. Design activists are the bright breakthrough, and it's only leaking through. It's not fully saturated at this point because we still have a long way to go. The bold breakthrough screams loudly through type to capture the idea of activists presenting, campaigning, celebrating, designing for social change loudly but on paper. We might do this through graffiti-like type, bold text, broken and impactful text, and a solid presence on the page. Interesting use of the grid and layout, which lends to the dynamism of hand-drawn elements. The paper and cutout layers approach is about uncovering the layers, sort of like a topographical map, and each layer represents a step along the way. It is a slow process, but the projects that design activists are completing every day bring that journey to life. The use of the layers sees the journey revealing itself as we start to move forward. The grid layout for the publication will cover an A4 portrait document. The grid will have 6x9 modules, which are 2.3 by 2.7 centimeters on the page, with a 4mm gutter. That all fits within the constraints of a 10mm margin all round. The grid provides a lot of flexibility in terms of text and graphic arrangement, but allows for consistency and continuity across the document. Our full considered typefaces bring about structure and reference the strength similar to that of a building frame, solidarity of bricks and mortar. They all provide contrast to each style direction in their curvature. Currently, these are my top 2 cover design directions, but there are many more in thought, stemming from each of the different concepts. The first represents the peeling back of layers as a designer drawing on paper, and the second one is the light leaking through, and the brightness and hope that design activists aim to impact on society. Thanks.